Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here on, what day is it? Sunday, January 12th, recording after the Celtics 120-119 win over the New Orleans Pelicans at home. Bounce back after a loss to the Kings on Friday. Back in the win column at home, I should say. Weird game, ugly game. Win, which is, at the end of the day, what matters most. But weird game, but a win nonetheless.
Barely a win. They did everything to lose this game up until the very last 5-second violation. Listen, I think Derek got the timeout. That's just what I thought watching on TV. I know you guys probably couldn't tell from the 9th floor whether or not he got it, but man, just what a masterclass to the missed free throws and like everything that they possibly could have did to make this game hard. The 3-point foul on, I think it was DeJounte with like a minute left or something. It's just like, what is going on here? I mean, listen, credit to them. They've pulled it out. Tatum had a really incredible game today. He had 38 and 14, would have had 40 if he made his free throws at the end. But still just as good of a game. And just the cherry on top of this shitstorm of a game was the best highlight coming after Tatum missed a layup. He misses a layup on the fast break. Freak bounce, like toilets out. Like, what are you going to do? Like, he made the right decision, did everything right. He hustles, gets the rebound, and dunks over to DeJounte and does this loud, like, KG scream into the crowd, screaming, motherfucking everybody. And that's like one of those clips they're going to use in all the highlight packages. And it's just the perfect play to be like, this was the moment tonight.
Yeah, it was frustrating because they played so well to close this game. And then it was just like, what is it? Flight of the Valkyries or whatever. What is it? The song?
Hall of the Mountain King.
Yeah. Hall of the Mountain King. Yeah. And then they just slowly started puking on themselves. I thought
like a team
was
sorry. They look like a team that was like, oh fuck, we're supposed to be tanking. Like, we were supposed to lose this game. Quick, like, fire all the missiles. Like, get it done.
Yeah. I think tonight's postgame was really one of the better ones, especially during the stretch, because there was a lot of perspective. There was a lot of like good quotes on the state of where they're at right now from Joe and Tatum. And one of the things Joe like pointed out was like, I was fine with it because they were mistakes with effort. Like, he was like, Derek didn't mean to throw the ball. Like, obviously he didn't mean to do that. Like, Tatum didn't mean to foul DeJounte Murray. He was trying to close out tight, which is something we've been giving them a lot of shit for, to be fair. Tatum didn't mean to miss both free throws. Like none of them were sloppy or stupid or lack of focus. It was just like the perfect shitstorm of what the hell. But none of them were like, oh my God, this person messed up royally in terms of his intentionality, which is an important thing too. And I thought Jayson Tatum closed phenomenally in this game. Weirdly, I didn't think he was playing a great game until like he started ramping up towards the end. I thought he was all right, but it was just sort of like a couple, like, I don't know about it, threes and not the most efficient. I thought him and Jalen did a great job of getting to the rim and inside the arc in this game when the threes weren't falling, which was a nice adjustment that I think they've fixed from games past. Huge Al Horford bounce back game. Not only he made his threes, but he also defended Zion really well. I'm sure we'll talk all about it, but I left this game like going down to the press conference room like, damn, like that was so ugly. Like this is crazy. And then heard Joe talk and heard Tatum talk, and I was like, you know what? Like I asked Joe a question, and I said, in the past you've said you are mad after a win. You'd be like, we didn't deserve to win this game. And so I was like, where does this game fall in that scope of things for you, like when you're judging the process versus the results? And he said, yeah, I mean, I think if you take a look at, there were probably 4 plays where we beat ourselves in the fourth quarter defensively. Some of the turnovers were really good execution. I thought our half-court execution, again, the result may have been a missed layup or a missed shot, but I think you look at the quality of what we did, we executed that. And so, listen, it's been a challenging month. And so when you're in a challenging month, you need situations like this to be able to work through it. And so I think I told the guys, it's a great space to be in. We are whatever the heck our record is, and the standard is high, the expectation is high. We're in a challenging spot, and it's a great place to be in, which I was like, that's really good perspective. Like, as much as it sucked the way this game ended, as much as they vomited on themselves, even if it wasn't self-induced and it was just, you got sick one night, like sometimes you get sick and you throw up. They won the game anyway,
slamming them back to get the vomit.
So I think what Joe is pointing out is, hey, when you're in a shitstorm like the one we're in right now, relative to expectations, because as they all pointed out, like the standard's high. I'm glad it is, but we're still 28-11, and I'm glad. And we'll talk about Joe's awesome quote after this. But he was like, "You need games like this. You need to win the garbage games. You need to win the ugly games. Like it is important to win like games like this because if CJ McCollum made that layup, we're having a completely different conversation right now. But he didn't, and so they won the game. And at the end of the day, that's the stat that matters the most. So I went into the press conference room like, "Damn, this sucked," and exited like, "Okay." I think there was some much needed, very good perspective that came from that.
This is like the perfect game for us. They win, but we have like, oh man, this was a brutal watch. And the last place Pelicans pushed him to the brink. Granted, Zion and DeJounte haven't been
I was
playing
gonna
the whole
say,
season.
this is not the same Pelicans team that has gone 8-30. I'll say that. Like Trey Murphy's missed almost all of the season. Zion has missed almost all of the season. DeJounte Murray came back like 2 weeks ago. Like this, as much as the Pelicans are 8-30 or whatever they are, this is not the team that is 8-30. So
Holy shit,
if there's
Trey
any
Murphy had
solace,
30 points.
yes, he's tied his career high. Trey Murphy was awesome. Like, and it wasn't even like
He
they weren't
was.
guarding. He was just really good. So this isn't the team that's 8-30. Just as an additional, like, that's not exactly a fair thing. Like this was closer to the team that we thought would be a playoff team going into the season.
Speaking of 8-30 and like how I was like the Celtics were like, oh fuck, we need to lose this game as if they were tanking. The Pelicans did the same thing. Zion got the ball and was like, well, he did the Tatum watch this and took a step back three with the game on the line. And it was just one of those like kind of throw your head back and laugh. Like, what was the man thinking there? Like the math absolutely says you need to take a three, but Zion, brother, you got Trey Murphy, who's red hot. You have DeJounte, who is efficient today too, and CJ, who wasn't great, but you can kind of count on him to knock down a three every once in a while. Like Zion, read the room, brother. It was tough. But yeah, like I thought it was a really good leadership game from Jayson Tatum. Like seriously, this was a game where the team was in the mud. You can go down the list and like the rest of the starters were not good. Every starter was at least like no starter had a positive plus minus is what I'm going to say. Jalen was his net zero, but everybody else was negative. Pritchard, Cornette, and Hauser are the only guys with a positive one on the whole team. And it was a game that the Celtics needed somebody to show up and be like, I'm going to will us to a win. And you said it, Tatum did a good job of getting inside. He was 2 of 10 from 3. He took 20 shots within the arc, and he was 12 of 20 on those. 60% from inside the arc. It's pretty good from him. I was happy with the initiative. It was just like a really weird game. Like I joked about Tatum missing the layup, but Kristaps missed like 5 layups on the same possession. Like he had himself an Andre Drummond rebounding frenzy where he was like, watch this. I have another double, guys. Third one in a row. And Jay, like, I don't know, man. They just, everybody has been off. We've been talking about it forever. You go down the box score, you look at it, off. Celtics were off. Derek, ice cold. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for these guys to knock down shots. I know it's not like purposeful. Like they're not missing on purpose. But you can't keep playing games like this. It's the water has to find its level eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the weird part about this game is I think every single player on the team was good in some areas and bad in some areas. Like Jaylen Brown, I thought I did a really good job of getting inside, and his passing was great. He had 7 assists, but he also had 4 turnovers, and they were all very noticeable turnovers. Jayson Tatum obviously had 38 and 11. He was great on the glass, great in the clutch, great everywhere else. Couldn't hit his threes. He was 2 of 10. Obviously, the free throws at the end. I thought he took some questionable shots, but he did a good job getting inside. So I mean, obviously he was more good than bad, but there was some parts of it there as well. Also, not to like turn this on Tatum because he played great. The worst transition defender I've ever seen in my life. Just like so bad. Like he doesn't even try. Yes, I'll pull up the clip maybe later if I can find it. But regardless, he was great tonight. That's not to turn it in the wrong direction on him. KP 19 and 11. Obviously, those shots that he was like tipping it to himself ruined his percentages, but he was great. 3 blocks, but even he like cooled off a little bit at points. Derek White was ice cold, but he had 3 steals and a block. Like he was making up for a lot of those mistakes, especially in the first quarter. Same with Drew Holiday, who was 104 from 3, but had 6 assists. Peyton Pritchard was cold for stretches, but made some big shots. Al Horford maybe was the only one who I think was completely solid. and then Luke and Sam and whatever. But like nobody was like perfect tonight, and they still managed to piece together a win. I will say though, I tweeted out. I don't know if you saw my tweet on the Celtic shooters
I saw it pop up. I
percentages
was
this
driving.
year.
I knew it wasn't good.
I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's kind of like an in-depth chart, but it's on my Twitter. Of the top percentage shooters against the Celtics this season with at least 3 3-point attempts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the top 20 or so, or maybe 15, are shooting below 35% on the year. 4 are low volume shooters who take less than 3 a game, and another 4 are shooting below 38%. And yet they have all shot 66% or better, 4 of whom have shot 100% on 3 or more attempts. Some have shot 6 or 7, like Cody Martin, Dante DiVincenzo, Keegan Murray, Craig Porter Jr. Like
Craig Porter Jr. What a game he had.
I'm getting close. Regular season, I'm out on the leave a guy open strategy. We saw it again tonight. Dejounte Murray was red hot because they like sagged off him a little bit. I get it in a playoff series when things get more, niche and more in depth and into the weeds and like the actual game plans and what to do and what to give up. But in a regular season, they got to just play straight up defense at a certain point because Javonte Green was 2 of 4 from 3. Jose Alvarado, Dejounte Murray, and Javonte Green combined to shoot 11 of 19 from 3. What the fuck? Like there comes a point where it is not okay. And the Celtics worked through it tonight, and by the stats of a win in the win column, it worked for them. But man,
not only they win, they gained a game on Cleveland.
They did because Cleveland finally came crashing down, which was bound to happen. I mean, you're not gonna win a million games in a row. But yeah, man, what a wild game. The defense was the 3-point defense just needs to be better. That's it.
Just to piggyback on that, and then I want to talk about somebody else. They got to stop pretending Ben Simmons on every team. They just gotta stop treating like it's like they spin a wheel and they're like, who's gonna be our Ben Simmons tonight? And it, like you said, it just always bites them in the ass. But Drew Holiday, you mentioned him. I loved that aggression he played with early in the fourth quarter. Celtics were at risk of having a flat stretch like they did on Friday. Drew forced the issue and went to the basket twice. One of them he got fouled and made it. I think the other one he just finished in traffic. They need somebody to do that. And it's not exactly what I was saying in the last video, because the last video I was just like pissed. And I was like, so Horford's going to fucking take the open lane. But the fact that they were like driving to the paint with the intention to score, I think does make a difference. There are a lot of times where it feels like they drive the paint just to get the paint touch and then kick it out, which works. It does work. It objectively works. But it's good on Drew to read that it wasn't their best 3-point shooting night at 29.5% and be like, maybe I'm going to see what I can do inside. And he was patient too. It wasn't like how sometimes Jalen will go inside and just be like, I'm able to jump higher than everybody and I'm stronger than everybody, so I'm just going to jump into the big man. Like Drew pump fake, got both defenders up, drew the foul. Great play. And it kind of calmed the team down.
Yes, sorry, my mic was to the side. Drew had great plays at the end of the game. He helped close it out. I don't know, just they got to win. That's what's important. They shot below 30% from 3 again. I'm going to say it again, and people don't like to hear it. They're not going to shoot like this for the whole season. I know it's a very extended stretch right now, but you have to believe the year and a half, 2 years, 3 years of everything you've ever seen from this group versus the month stretch where they have been ice cold. You just have to. As much as it's frustrating, you have to. You do. You just.
I want to turn on them so bad. I really do.
You can't.
Like,
you can't.
Part of me was hoping they would lose today so I could be real pissed. And it looked like they were going to lose. And I was like, oh, man.
They
like,
tried.
We get to really be like, are these guys dead? Listen, good on them. Like, they came together and won at the end. It was a game that they didn't have control over for a lot of it. The end of the third quarter was fucking brutal. Tatum turns the ball over and Javonte takes it coast to coast for a dunk to beat the buzzer, cuts it to 2. Like, they were really reeling. They still made big plays in big spots. You mentioned Derek having 3 steals. I believe one of them was kind of late in the game as well. Just, I mean, man, when they start making shots, like they're almost setting themselves up to fight the toughest battle. You know what I'm
That's what
saying?
Tatum said. Tatum said maybe you don't want to play your best ball in January. Maybe you don't want to be at your best in January. Maybe that's not when you want to peak, which is very much like a band-aid on the we suck situation. But it also like you get it a little bit. Like
This
maybe
is
means more to come.
this is the entire team equivalent of Larry Bird being like, I'm actually only going to shoot left-handed. Like the Celtics are like, actually,
Yeah.
we're going to try and win all the games, except we're not going to make any threes. We're going to miss significantly more threes than we normally would and see if we can win games. And listen, they've won 4 out of 6 now. Complete different narrative from 3 of 8. Or yeah, they've only won 3 of their last 8 at home. Now it's 4 of 9. Big one. But seriously, 4 of their last 6 were wins. They probably should have won all of them. The OKC one they get a pass for because it's one of the best teams in the NBA. The one on Friday was fucking brutal. Today was almost brutal. It's good that they got it together and won because this had a feel similar to Friday and they didn't let the same thing happen twice. So you do have to give them credit.
And they were significantly better at finding other ways to score outside of the 3-point line, I would argue. Like being better in those spots, which was good.
Exactly.
The best
exactly
best quote of the night.
Big credit.
Yeah, the best quote of the night by far was Joe. He said, I would say the ultimate compliment is that we're 28-11, and these are the types of conversations we're having. So it's a beautiful place to be in. I'm serious. I think it's great. It's a great standard and a great expectation to have, and we have to deliver. And so we all know that. That's the process towards it. But then, but when you're, what are we, the 3rd best team in the league right now, which isn't great, but look at it, it sounds like a Morgan here. And that's how it should be because of where we're trying to get to. So it's the ultimate compliment, and we just have to continue to work through it. And he talked in a follow-up about like, there are 2 great teams in the league that are having historic seasons, so they become the reference point of like, oh, you're not as good because you're not them, and they're great, but we have our own paths that we have to work through. We can't take for granted the details, habit, execution, like stuff that has to be rebuilt because it's a new season, etc. It says, I love the fact that we're not happy. It's just the best place to be in, and we'll figure it the hell out. Which, I mean, we talked about it last show too. Like, it's frustrating when you have to live through it, but in hindsight, or whenever the hindsight comes, like, shit's not going to be perfect. I said this last time. Like, we were blessed with a completely stress-free season last year in hindsight. Like, there were pockets, there were little games here and there, but for the most part, it was the Celtics are really good. The Celtics are good. They're still good. Oh, they lost. Oh, they're still good though. Like there was very little room for, oh my God, that might lose. Even when they lost like game 2s of the Heat and the Cavs, I think everyone for the most part was like, yeah, well, move on. Especially after the Heat one. Like when it happened to the Cavs, I think everyone was like, oh, whatever, right? And that's not like a normal thing for any team. And this isn't the same team as last year, even if they brought back all the pieces. Like they have to deal with new challenges. Other teams around the league have gotten better, right? They're not going to shoot as well as they did last season. Like that was a historic year that they had offensively. And I know you laugh at it was literally the best offense ever, but this proves that you don't always get to have the best offense ever. Like as much as that as of a inflated or not
they thought
real
of trying
as that is. Yeah, I know it would be real useful, but no, I'm serious. Like perspective is important, and I think I've said it since last year. Boston fans are very spoiled, and it's a good thing to be held to that high standard. But the reality is, like, you don't get to have that type of season every year, and just because the Cavs and the Thunder are that good doesn't mean the Celtics are or have to be that good. Especially in the regular season, because they know what they are in the playoffs. They know where they can be, and like you said earlier, and like Tatum said at the podium, they start hitting their threes. Holy shit, right? Like if they aren't a 30% 3-point shooting team, which Terp looked it up during the game, they're shooting 33% versus opponents 40% since the start of January. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe you'll be a little bit better, and maybe we won't be having these more like conversations.
Yeah, I don't even know if like there really is fat that they can trim off the 3-point attempts. You know what I'm saying? Like in theory there should be, but a lot of like anytime we go and look, it's just like it's fine. The only ones are like the Tatum ones, and even then it's like
he had a couple, but he always has a couple. Like that is built in. That is caked into what we already established.
One of the ones that I was like, no, yes tonight was actually that one that Hauser made where he caught the ball wide open, waited for the defender to close out, pump faked, and then just went up over him and made it. I was like, all right, Sam.
I was mad at that one in real time too. And Noah looked over to me. She goes, Jack, you're a hater. I'm like, that was a bad shot.
Yeah. Like if he misses that, we're pulling it up.
Yes. I do want to pull up just so I'm not speaking into the void and people are mad at me. To be on some haterade later in the game.
You know what was great is the guy that commented that what did we put Tatum on the thumbnail with me like pulling my eyes all the way down, and
yeah,
someone was like, of course, like Jayson is on the thumbnail, and nobody ever blames JB. And then Jack is the king of getting the "you hate Jalen."
Yeah,
I love that you actually used the picture that I referenced when I was like, gave me the best thumbnail ever. Yeah.
This is what I was talking about when I was talking about Tatum transition defense. This was when I was really mad. Jaylen Brown misses a layup, which also I think in this game, especially, the Celtics didn't do a great job in transition. You saw the full effect of Celtics miss a lot of shots. Other team gets a lot of opportunities where the Celtics defense isn't set, which is something Joe talked about last game. Jayson Tatum is fully behind the Pelicans on the play. He's backpedaling, and he just lets Trey Murphy walk right by him, just directly by him. Doesn't even like try to get in front of him a little bit. I think Tatum is so concerned about not getting fouls, and I get it to a degree, but you see what I'm saying, right? He has full time to get in front of him, and then it's an and one because Derek White actually tries to get back into play, and Derek White gets in the play and tries to get a block, and he started the play behind Tatum, like just what?
I just want to know like what Tatum thought he was going to do. Like he
like
sort of tries to pick him up at like the logo and then is like, oh fuck, I actually can't keep him in front of me because I tried to pick him up too far away.
This is a constant too. This is not like this is once in a thing. This is every time. Like, and again, I don't want this to turn into, oh my God, Tatum sucks, because he was great to end this game. Not a good transition.
Is he even on the screen? Is he in the game?
No. I was looking to. I was trying to find another one in real time, which I don't know if I could.
Regardless, he's not even on the screen.
Yeah. That is a good point though, because he doesn't run back sometimes. No, good win for the Celtics. All things considered, even though it was ugly and weird and probably frustrating for a lot of people, they got the win. They got the Raptors next time out, so knock on wood, we can get a little repeat performance there coming up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Men's league did not go great.
Oh no,
we lost. We lost by 4, and they gave me the Drew Holiday treatment. And I ended up doing okay, but I was really cold to start. Like, I made my first shot, too. I was like, we're back. Like, going to play good today. But
that's tough.
Oh, man, I must have been like 3 of 10 the first half. It was fucking brutal. It was one of those games where the other team was, like, way better than us, and they clearly weren't trying, and they were also, like, laughing and stuff. I was mad.
That sucks.
And I don't really get mad like that.
Who's on your team, Worth and Brock?
Me, yeah, it's like our men's league team that we had last time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Actually, cool. Exactly that.
Gotcha. No subs or one sub?
No subs today. Big test for me. Big time. First time I did the 40-minute. I was okay. I'm a little tired right now. Back's a little tired, but
gotcha. Okay. All right. We'll get out of here. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that. Sam, take it out.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment. Tell us what you thought of the near loss against the Pelicans. Shout out to you guys. You guys were actually really great when they lost on Friday. I called you all out and was like, nobody's going to watch this video. And then everybody watched it, even the Kings fans. And they said, you guys are stupid because the Kings.
When they lose a lot, people want to know why. When they lose every once in a while, no one cares. So maybe that's the difference.
But yeah, leave a comment. You can hit the bell. Jack and here every single day. New pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday game recaps like this one in the morning after each game. And other videos are up in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can also find us streaming pregame live a half hour before every game. It's a ton of fun. Come hang out. Very loose. Very good time to get those comments in. You can find us on Spotify and Apple. All pods and recaps are up there for you. So if you follow, they go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review, comment. It does help us very much. Help us reach more people if you like us. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We'll be reading those later today as you hear this because it is now Monday. That is when we record the Tuesday pod. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook is the name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack Simone NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe. Come on.